You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. The people are real. The cases are real. The rulings are final. This is Judge Judy.
Good evening. Today we will discuss ethics and laws, and our group members consist of Jamisha Derry, Janelle Brunson, Timothy Mahalik, and Ron Keith Patterson. Today's agenda goes as the following. First, we will discuss ethics and fraud and the laws that goes along with fraud. Second, discuss privacy in terms of customer data and World Wide Web. Explain business, social, and legal, political. Discuss different types of state and federal laws. Finally, discuss different points regarding product liability. Ethics, also known as moral philosophy, is a branch of philosophy that involves systematizing, defending, and recommending concepts of right and wrong behavior. It comes from the Greek word ethos, which means character. Fraud is a crime and is also a law violation. Many hoaxes are fraudulent, although those not made for personal gain are technically not frauds. Defrauding people of money is presumably the most common type of fraud, but there have also been many fraudulent discoveries in art, archaeology, and science. Fraud is when trickery is used to gain a dishonest advantage, which is often financial, over another individual, business, or organization. Fraudulent activity can take place through any type of media, including mail, phone, wire, and internet, computer crime, and internet fraud. The American Bar Association, section of Public Contract Law, procurement fraud, monitors the government's remedies, activities, and initiatives relating to the investigation and prosecution of alleged fraud by contractors, including voluntary disclosures and corporate self-governance. The False Claims Act. The False Claims Act is the single most important tool U.S. taxpayers have to rediscover the billions of dollars stolen through fraud by U.S. government contractors every year. Under the False Claims Act, those who knowingly submit or cause another person or entity to submit false claims for payment of government funds are liable for 3 times the government's damages, plus civil penalties of $5,500 to $11,000 per false claim. Federal Trade Commission, Bureau of Consumer Protection. The Bureau of Consumer Protection works to protect customers against unfair, deceptive, or fraudulent practices in the marketplace. The Bureau conducts investigations, sues companies and people who violate the law, develops rules to protect consumers, and educates consumers and businesses about their rights and responsibilities. The Bureau also collects complaints and consumer fraud and identity theft and makes them available to law enforcement agencies across the country. Privacy. Customer data is defined as the process of consolidating and managing customer information from all available sources, including contact details, customer valuation data, and information gathered through interactions such as direct marketing. Customer privacy involves the handling and protection of sensitive personal information that individuals provide in the course of everyday transactions. This involves the exchange or use of data electronically. Some forms of customer data include full names, addresses, phone numbers, 9-digit social security numbers, full birth dates, credit card numbers, and IDs. The World Wide Web, better known as www, is defined as the complete set of electronic documents stored on computers that are connected over the internet and are made available by protocol known as HTTP. One way the World Wide Web protects privacy is by Consortium, which sponsors the Platform for Privacy Preferences project. Using the World Wide Web has its pros and cons. Some advantages of the World Wide Web include more rapid interaction, web resources, amusement, social media, and on-the-web services. Some disadvantages of the World Wide Web include robbery of personal information, spamming, Trojan risk, pornography, and social detach. Advantages of ethical behavior include higher revenues, improved brand and business awareness and recognition, better employee motivation and recruitment, and new sources of finance. Disadvantages claimed for ethical businesses include higher costs, higher overheads, training and communication of ethical policy, and a danger of building up false expectations. There are 5 different types of state and federal laws, which is contract law, employment law, environment law, tax law, and intellectual property law. Now let's take a look at each law. First, contract law. A contract is a legal enforceable agreement between 2 or more parties. The core of most contracts is a set of mutual promises. The promises made by the parties define the rights and obligations of the parties. Contracts are enforceable in the courts. If one party meets its contractual obligations and the other party doesn't, the non-breaking party is entitled to receive relief through the courts. Employment law. Title VII of the Civil Rights Act of 1964, which covers employers with 15 or more employees, protects workers from being discriminated against in the workforce on the basis of their race, color, religion, sex, gender, or national origin. Although the law may lawfully be terminated at any time for any reason, including a good reason, a bad reason, or no reason at all, it is illegal for an employer to take an adverse employment action. For example, a demotion, termination, etc., against an employee based on any characteristic protected by local, state, or federal law. Oil spills happen when crude oil or petroleum is released into the environment because of human activity. An oil spill is a serious environmental hazard and can cause personal and economic injury to people and businesses. The primary law overseeing the safety of chemical products, the Toxic Substance Control Act, was passed in 1976 and provides the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency authority to review and regulate chemicals in commerce. TSCA was designed to ensure that products are safe for intended use. While the law created a robust system of regulations, over time, confidence in EPA's regulation of chemicals has eroded. Tax law. You can contribute more in your 401k retirement account and your IRA account before having to pay tax on it. The new mileage deduction rates. The gift tax inclusion is now eligible for $13,000. The earned income tax credit now begins at $13,660 for individuals. Estate taxes reinstated. In 2010, for a single year, there was no estate tax. During 2011 and 2012, the top estate tax rate will be 35%, and the tax estate exemption will be $5 million. In 2013, these temporary changes will end, and we will see a return to higher estate tax rates and lower exemption amounts. Intellectual property law refers to creations of the mind for which exclusive rights are recognized in law. Under intellectual property law, owners are granted certain exclusive rights to a variety of intangible assets such as musical, literacy, and artistic works, discoveries and inventions, and words, phrases, symbols, and designs. Common types of intellectual property rights include copyright, trademarks, patents, industrial design rights, and in some jurisdictions, trade secrets. Although many of the legal principles governing intellectual property rights have evolved over centuries, it was not until the 19th century that the term intellectual property began to be used, and not until the late 20th century that it became commonplace in the majority of the world. The British Statute of Anne 1710 and the Statute of Monopolies 1623 are now seen as the origins of copyright and patent law respectively. Product liability. Warning labels are no longer adequate. Some recent court decisions have favored the plaintiff in cases where the injured party participated in an activity expressly against on a product label. Companies should keep records of the design process, paying particular attention to conversations about product safety. It is expensive to consider designs and safety devices at every step of the way, but so are product recalls, legal fees, and damages. An attorney that specializes in products liability will be able to assist a business in mapping out the exposure to risk of their product. This concludes our presentation on law and ethics. I hope you found it informative and enjoyable. Thank you.